Good morning, dear beloveds, and welcome to our Friday session. This is such a grand opportunity every day, every moment, to see and to express and to finally embrace that which has always been true within us. And then to share that, to be part of a group of mighty companions who only have that one desire, to share and to know that truth. And that is what we do here. We join together in that single reality, and we are so blessed because of it. And the gratitude that fills us when we know this to be true, only this. There's really only one thing for us to know, and everything else comes from that knowing. All good gifts begin when we know this truth, that we are whole and holy, no matter what. That there's nothing that you have done or could do that will change the changeless. You are unchangeable, the truth within you, whereas the illusions and the shadows within you never were true. And this experience that we're allowing now, this deep experience of grace, is the only thing that we're seeking. And not only seeking, but experiencing and sharing. Because the more we share it, the more that experience envelops us, the deeper it goes within us. It doesn't matter if we're sitting here at Namaste or at another community or in our own homes. We're sharing this light through our willingness to join. Our willingness to join in what is true, not what is illusory. That's what the ego tries to do. The ego is constantly seeking to join in illusions, but you can't really join in what is not really there, can you? Only in your imagination can you do so. But if you want to join within what is true, the truth that is within you, we have to open up our eyes and we need to see each other. We need to see each other as God sees us. And that's all we're doing. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes for a moment and just take a deep breath. And as we begin this holy joining here on this Friday morning, we ask for that spirit of truth to come and to break through the walls that I have built around myself and the chains that I have wrapped around myself, to break them completely, so that I may be free enough to look around and see who has always been with me. And I see these faces appear, people who I love, people who I reject, the people who are with me in this room, all of those who have been sent, and I choose now in this moment to see them all as they are seen by God, to see them through the eyes of Christ. This is the decision, the choice that I make today, and it is a resolute choice. I begin this day with this decision to see all through the eyes of all, to see only that which is true and whole and complete and beautiful and lovely. And we rejoice in this. We let our hearts rise in this knowledge that this is the only reason we're here. And in fulfilling this reason, we are filled. In fulfilling this reason, we are filled with grace. We are filled with love. We are filled with heaven. Heaven's song is resounding within our hearts right now, in this very moment. And we choose in this moment to respond by saying yes, yes, yes. Say those words with me. Yes, yes, yes. It's so simple. And yet those words change everything. And so it is. All right. Now that we're heading in a sure direction, I want to read you a love letter. Today's sharing really is a love letter from the divine to each one of us, telling us how beautiful we are and how precious and true we are. And if we would but accept that by extending it to everyone else we see, then we will not only see that within them, but know that within ourselves. And this is the only real message we need to experience by sharing and extending. So let me read this little section that I wrote down, part of the impersonal light, and we'll share about this today. Here we go. The truth within you remains true forever and does not vacillate or change. The truth within you remains true forever and does not vacillate or change. In fact, anything that vacillates and changes reflects and protects the illusion that you have claimed rather than the truth that is eternal and without compromise. Let's just pause there for a moment, because those first two sentences describe so beautifully and perfectly the dilemma, or at least the seeming dilemma, that we find ourselves in. First of all, what we've denied, which is that the truth within you remains true forever and does not vacillate or change. What we've done is we've claimed that which changes because we think that we change. We believe that we can change from one moment to another. But it goes on to say, anything that vacillates or changes reflects and protects, I like that, it reflects and protects the illusions you have claimed, rather than the truth that is eternal and without compromise. We talk about this whole thing of being without compromise a lot. This, I believe, is how the experience is initiated within us, when we choose to live without compromise. In other words, when we choose to have so much passion within us that we will choose only one thing, and nothing else is going to compromise that one thing. And I often say that when we are as uncompromising with the truth as the truth is with us, then the doors of heaven open automatically. Because it's true, the truth, or wholeness, or heaven, or God, is totally uncompromising in the way that it looks at you, the way that it views you, the way that it knows you. It is uncompromising in the way that it views and acknowledges your wholeness. And when you are as uncompromising with this truth as it is with you, then you cannot know anything but the truth. You cannot do anything but enter into the gates of heaven. The experience. They're not some literal pearly gates that open. It's an experience here and now, this moment. If you choose to be uncompromising, not to try to interpret around. What do you think he meant by that? That's me trying to interpret and not be uncompromising. And I'm not going to do that anymore, because I know, and I think you know now, what it costs. The cost of trying to interpret around what is so simple. What is so simple that you are whole and holy right here and right now. If you just allow yourself to be uncompromising with that by acknowledging that, seeing that, loving that, and blessing that in everyone, no matter what, just as God sees and acknowledges and blesses it in you, no matter what, then you will know it, and it will become the living reality of who and what you are. Okay, let me go a little further. So once again, if we claim this without compromise, and then it says, I am that very truth, and I am in you. I am that very truth, and I am in you. That means you are whole, and you are holy, now and forever, and this cannot change. Your wholeness, your holiness cannot change. When the truth you are seems to slip from your consciousness, You are inclined to believe that something real has changed, but it hasn't. You fall into a dream where the eternal laws that you knew seem to fade. Of course they do, because you're dreaming now. And that they're replaced by new laws that limit and restrain you. The dream laws. But the truth within you is forever unlimited and completely unrestrained. Completely unlimited and unrestrained. And that is all I am seeing. That is all the I am within you is seen right now. And when you choose to turn away from those dream chains and see through my eyes, see through the eyes of I am consciousness, or Christ consciousness, or whatever you want to call that, then you will see the same reality, the same world, and the very same Christ, wholly present and eternally revealed. When you choose to see through the eyes of I am consciousness, that is all you will know. This vision will replace everything that you made to hide from me. And then you will realize, first in your mind and then with your heart, that there's nowhere you can hide where I will not come to lead you home. I started off saying that today's lesson is basically a love letter. It's a love letter from the beloved to the one who is loved, otherwise known as you. The one who is loved eternally and forever. If you would only relax into that, then you would know and share and live and be exactly that. Once again, it's so simple, and yet it seems to be the hardest thing we'll ever do. It doesn't need to be. It's only hard because we have chosen and we somehow feel protected by these chains. We somehow feel like they're protecting us from what we don't know. We don't try and figure out. There's no way for us to know what it is we're being protected from. But then finally there comes a moment which you're in right now, where you feel the weight and you feel the restraint of those chains, and you say, I'm choosing to know who I really am, and I'm choosing to let these fall away. I'm choosing to allow love to guide me, to be able to see through the eyes of Christ, to know what is truly known. That's it. It's really that simple. But this simple choice, it may seem very hard in time, but it's very easy in eternity. And so that's what we claim today, that which is simple and easy in eternity. So I hope that that love letter stirs your heart as any love letter should, reminding you of how much you are loved forever. So, let's see who's out there who wants to share anything. Anybody feeling inspired to respond to that great missive of love? Just, I'm going to call, as I always say, sometimes I just feel like this bubbling. I'll look over the pictures or the icons or the names, and I'll feel something sort of bubbling to the surface. And I'm feeling that with Karen Palmer this morning. So, Karen, if you would, I would love for you to share that little effervescence that you are.
Wow, I'm so grateful that you felt that energy, because that love letter was something that I really, really will cherish forever. My heart is so full right now. It feels like it's so easy now to share what you've shared, because giving and receiving are one and the same. And I really feel what you just poured into me was my true remembrance of what I've always known, is that divine love is all there is. There is nothing other than divine love. And when we try to humanize it into some kind of box or people pleasing and jumping through hoops, thinking that that's going to keep somebody happy, we lose our divine love for ourself, our true self. And then our true self starts to get quieter, and the separated, split self gets really loud. Mm-hmm. And then it's really a challenge to be in this human experience, remembering that we are divine love and light, just having this temporary human challenge. It's so beautiful, the letter that you wrote. And I've been reading your book, your newest book that you have from Assisi, with Guillermo. Guillermo, is it Guillermo?
No, Giovanni.
Giovanni, yeah, Giovanni. Oh, I love Giovanni. And I don't know, for some reason I call him Guillermo because he just feels like Guillermo. He feels like he's just pure love, you know? And I get this Guillermo feeling from him, you know, like, you know, I don't know if you ever watched Jimmy Kimmel, but I just had that feeling of the Italian version of Guillermo. There's just so much joy in him. And in that book, Jimmy, oh my God, what a gift that book was to me. You know, I'm healing so deeply with my own father, who's in a memory care facility right now. And I know that forgiveness is the key to happiness. And so you have given me so many gifts in so many ways. I keep going back over and over. I listen every single day to at least one of the A Course in Miracles music lessons every day, just to remind myself, because it's so important to stay awake. That's my only goal now. That's all I care about now. I don't care about any other outside goals or outside, you know, I need to do this, or this needs to happen, or that needs to happen. Just stay awake. That's my goal. That's all I'm doing, is staying as my true self. And that divine love letter is going to be something that I'm going to just hold so close to my heart all the time. So thank you so much. And thank you for that beautiful book that you wrote. I highly recommend it for everyone. I don't know if people, I know it's not been released yet, but I got it on.
It's been out for about a year.
Oh, well, I was able to get it on Kindle, and I absolutely love it because, like I said, you know, forgiveness is the ego. It's all that separated self, you know, because when I try to forgive my dad, it's for stuff that happened when I was a child. Mm-hmm. And so if I just stay as the timeless being of love and light that I am, I don't have to forgive him for anything because it didn't happen.
That's right.
And it's so powerful in that book that you wrote. It's so powerful because she's forgiving everybody as she's going along. And she's so stubborn about the forgiveness. And I love how stubborn she is about the forgiveness, because I can really relate to that as my human self, you know? But I just do what I do. And I remember and I relax, and I remind myself I can relax now. There's nothing for me to do. There's nothing I have to say. There's nowhere I have to be. And I just know this is the truth. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that book, especially for women, I think, because the main character is a woman, who have had issues with their fathers, I think they're the ones who are going to enjoy that book the most and get the most out of it. But I loved writing that book, Giovanni and the Camino of St. Francis. In fact, if you look at the cover, the picture on the cover of these two people walking through a forest is what it looks like. In reality, that is where our tiny house community is now. That picture was taken when it was still a little forest and before anything had been built. Now there are 12 casitas there. And I love having this little testament to what that looked like before. So I'm glad you're enjoying that. And yeah, it is a love letter. And everything's a love letter ultimately if we realize that everything, every experience is conspiring to lead us home. All we need to do is to say yes, as we said before. So thank you, dear Karen.
Well, thank you. And like I said, I think that this, these mighty companions, all of you, I love you all so much. I love this time in the morning together because it brings me back to the evidence of oneness. And that's what I'm doing now too, is I have a little notebook that I keep track of, the evidence of oneness. And I write notes to myself throughout the day of where I'm seeing it and how I see it in everything. And if I just pay attention to it, it becomes more and more my reality. And then I can ripple that reality in my own way. And I know that there's so much more love in the world than I have been giving it credit for. And that there's been so much conditioned love that is taught to the human. And this is the way you get love, and this is the way you get appreciation, and this is the way you get recognition, and this is the way you do this, and this is the way you get approval. And divine love, like the love letter that you just said, when the truth you are seems to slip from your consciousness, you're inclined to believe something real has changed, and you fall into the dream where the eternal laws that you knew seem to fade. And I know that's the truth, because when you start to fall asleep, that's when you fall asleep again, and and then you go into other people's dreams, and then you're in their dream, and they're their nightmare, and you're in all these different nightmares and dreams, and you're still trying to figure out, how do I get back to the real? But I love what you just said there. When you slip into that consciousness, just remind myself that nothing's changed. I still am as God created me, and we're all just doing the best that we know how with these human challenges that we're faced with. But we have to just remember we are divine love and light and truth, just having this temporary human experience.
Thank you so much, Karen. All right. By the way, I see you may have noticed that I did copy and paste this love letter that we're talking about, but someone just typed here, thank you, Brenda, saying that there's some setting that I need to find that would allow you to copy and paste it. So while we're going here, I'll try and figure that out. But how about Jamie? Jamie Lee, are you out there? You always have some beautiful, loving, breathtaking insight. I thought I saw you. Are you still out there, Jamie Lee?
I'm here. Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning. How are you, dear
Hi.
one?
Well, the insights, I'm happy to report my head is quiet and I'm basking in your words and the love letter. And Karen really put some powerful things into words for me that it seems like it's a great call of humanity for if they could just know how to put those words into words. So Karen, that was really, I don't know if that was the female in me that connected to the divine feminine heart, and perhaps the call of a lot of us on how we want to simplify our own selves that got complicated, selves with a higher S, because the call out, where really all we want is to stay awake and stay as love. And I don't even mean that as duality. We want to stay awake as love. We want to stay awake. And the healing that we're all doing by the undoing and the revealing. Jimmy, again, this is another classic for people to refer to come back to this on YouTube. You're so good about uploading. The heart of the principles of the great barrier to the heart, the key is in this talk today. And it's more than a key. It's really just an open door to just realize we're already standing in it. So
That's right.
Thank you, everybody. I'm just basking in the words.
Oh, good. And I think I may have been able to do the little change that would allow you guys to copy and paste, so you can check and see if you can. I'm not positive, but I think I took care of that. All right. Let's go to Namaste. I'm going to go ahead and highlight you guys. Good morning, Ravi. And, I want to try something else here. All right. Spotlight for everyone. Okay, we'll do that. Oh, no, that's not. I'm not doing it right. Add spot. Oh, there we go. Okay, now you can see both of us. All right. Who would like to share something there at Namaste? Who's feeling inspired by this love letter? All right, Rod, come on up.
Okay, buddy. Well, I heard a couple of things this morning that intrigued me. And first, when you were talking about we put all these chains on, my vision went to the medieval knights with their chainmail. And what was that for? Protect themselves in battle. So we put chains on ourselves because we think we're going into battle with all the other egos that surround us. And by golly, I'm going to be the one that survives, not you.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking about chains. And the other thing that struck me a little deeper was when Karen was talking about we are divine love. And I think we all experience moments of that truly divine love where in that love there is no jealousy. In that love there is no comparisons. And then she mentions how we, I don't know exactly how she said it, but we go into human love. And what really struck me about that was human love is imperfect love. It is, most of us, I think, tend to think of love as perfection. But when it's expressed through the human form, I don't think it is. I think it's imperfect. And I remember all those stories about the apostles. They were with Jesus. I mean, come on. What more could you ask for? And they still screwed up all the time. They thought, I want the head of the table seat. Or, they had jealousy going. They had, like when Peter denied Christ on the cross. That was, as a kid, I really couldn't understand that. How could you do that? But now as an adult, I can see how I'm gonna walk out of there. But anyway, I really am thankful, especially to Karen, and because that's making me feel, I guess it's acceptance, because when I screw up, I know I'm imperfect in form, but I also know that I am total love when I am expressing my true self, my spiritual self. You can't screw up when you're in that place.
You can't screw this up. That's the best news there is. Try as you may, and we have tried very hard, but you can't screw this up. You can delay. That's what you can do. You can delay the acceptance of love and life and everything that's everywhere at every moment, but you can't screw it up. I can't think of a better message than that. So thank you, Rod.